Welcome back to the OHL podcast, everybody. I'm your host, Buckeye Boggs, and this is I cannot stand the Maize and Blue, the team up north. I hate everything about them edition of the OHIO podcast. Everybody hit that like button, hit the thumbs up. If you're not subscribed to the channel, what are you doing, man? You're doing it wrong. It's free. Just hit subscribe. Doesn't cost you nothing, man. It really does help out the channel. For those who want to do more than that and enjoy the content, we do have a membership. It's $3.99 a month. You get a t-shirt. You get content that's made just for you. You get a bunch of things, including free shipping from the online store. So, hey, check that out. If you're interested in becoming a member, we'd love to have you. We're the official Ohio State podcast of Fanside and the Scarlet and Game. Head over to scarletandgame.com. There you can listen to our podcast, read articles. If you are interested in listening to this podcast, we do several during the week. And those are available wherever you download podcasts. And if you are listening to this, by all means, please give us a 5-star review. It really does help the channel as well. We're also the official Ohio State podcast of The College Huddle. Head on over to thecollegehuddle.com. There you can find us and 75 other great podcasts covering college schools from coast to coast. I'm going to give you 4 reasons why I hate the team up north. 4 reasons why I despise everything about them. I know as a Christian man, you're not supposed to have hate in your heart. You're supposed to turn the other cheek and be forgiving. And I am. And trust me, I would give the shirt off my back to someone in need, even if they were from that state up north. But when it comes to my fandom, when it comes to this rivalry, my blood boils over. I'm a competitive person by nature, and I'm a lover of the scarlet and gray. And because of those two things, when this game rolls around every single year, I get irritable. I get downright hard to be around. My wife knows kind of just leave Eric alone this week because until the game happens, he's just going to not be a very pleasant person despite being the week of Thanksgiving, etc. And if we happen to drop that game on Saturday, then you best not even talk to me for about the next 2 weeks. I am going to be downright depressed, angry, upset, mad at the world, ready to fire whoever the head coach is, etc. Because I am a fan, which is short for fanatic. But in this video, I'm going to give you 4 reasons why I despise the team from Ann Arbor. Number 1, and this is, in my opinion, the largest, biggest reason, and the one I'll spend the most time on. It's their fans. If you are a fan of the Maize and Blue and you are watching this video, you are a despicable human being. There's a 99.999% chance that you are a disgusting human being. There are a few. I have met a few. Burks, B-Dub, as we call him, Blue Wolverine. Johnny, he's a good guy. Sean Butler, he's a good one. There's 4. I think maybe I can find a 5th somewhere. That's it. No one else. You all, the rest of you, are disgusting human beings. I despise you. Most of Buckeye Nation despises you. And not only us, most of the college football community despises you. And here's why. You are the most pompous, arrogant, annoying people on the face of the planet. You have zero common sense. You have no self-awareness. And quite frankly, you are like a bad smelling fart. No one likes you. And yet you somehow laugh at yourself thinking you're funny. You're a troll. You're the very definition of a troll. That's who you are. It's so bad that the rest of the conference that you're in, all, I guess, 16 of the other teams now, or 17 of the other teams in the conference, they hate you too. And although they might hate us next after you, and it's because we've been good for so long, trust me when I say this, majority of the fan bases hate you as fans. Okay? Now, let me give you a perfect example why. Perfect example. I'm going to show my Twitter feed. I made one comment, and you can literally see it's like the cockroaches from Ann Arbor scurrying in to try and troll and try and go at somebody and create a Twitter war with somebody. It's ridiculous how you guys act. Flat out ridiculous. Let me show this. This is unbelievable. All right, here we go. So, Fox decides to make a tweet. Ohio State might have more wins over that team up north in the last 10 matchups, but the Losers are on a hot streak. Who's coming out on top this time? That's their tweet, right? Well, I couldn't help to let that go because we all know the truth, which I will get to this in just a few minutes here on this video. But I say, come on, Fox. Call it what it was. It was a cheat streak that has come to an embarrassing end that will be followed by NCAA sanctions. That's all I said. And right off the bat, who's the first one to jump in? Well, it's Mason Scottsdale here. So Mason does uh, the typical thing that people do when they know they have no facts in an argument or a debate. They go straight to name calling, straight to demeaning behavior, because instead of trying to say here's the reason for the debate and why and come back at you, they have nothing to stand on. So in order to make themselves feel better, they have to push someone else down. It's very typical bullying behavior, and here it is. I mean, right off the bat, you should call yourself Opioid Podcast. Well, first off, I've never done drugs in my life. All right. I know some who have, and God bless, the Lord saved their soul and they're off of drugs and they're running their own Ohio State podcast, talking about my good friends over there, Dev over there at the Buckeye Boys. You know what? What are you doing? Call yourself the opioid. It doesn't even make sense. Like, that's ridiculous trying to say I'm on drugs. You're on drugs for believing that. I'm on drugs for believing that you all cheated? Hello? You're under NCAA investigations. You had an NOA delivered to you. You all have asked for an extension on that NOA to respond to it. But yeah, I'm on drugs. Okay, sure, whatever, buddy. Let's continue. They just get better. They just get better. I love his response. I go back and forth with him slightly. That's the thing. I try in real life, not on social media. What? Oh, I know what it is. Okay. I called him out because, as you'll see here, he's got 36 followers. 36 followers, and he's been on since 2021. I looked it up. So he's been on the platform for 3 years and only has 36 followers. I call him out on it, and he goes, "That's the thing. I try in real life, not on social media." Okay, bro, whatevs. Okay, if then why are you even on social media if you're trying so hard, right? All right, continuing on here. Let's continue on. They just get better. How about the King Say So? What a name, right? The King Say So. And he's got a Cincinnati Reds logo and a Bengals logo as his background, so I'm guessing he's from Cincinnati, which is the Queen City, but he's the king apparently with 59 followers. So the king who has 59 followers says these people think followers are the be all end all. If you don't have followers, your opinion isn't valid. Well, let me explain to you how social media works. If you only have 59 followers, your voice or your opinion, it really doesn't matter because no one sees it and no one cares. So you need to try to grow your brand or your platform if you're going to be on social media so that more people can see and hear what you're saying and therefore people will care. But because you have 59 followers and you try to point out that all I care about is followers, well, when you're growing a channel and you're growing a social media site, yeah, followers matter, dingbat. Golly, just the stupidity of some of these people. It's unbelievable. Let's see here. There's a whole lot more onto this. Let's see if I can find where they were at. Let's see. Here we go. Here they are. Here's Chris Wanahakalugi. Yeah, that's his name. Chris Wanahakalugi. That is his handle. Why didn't you just say, Chris, I'm gay Haktua? How about that? That probably would have been better there, Chris. He says, there will be no sanctions. Cope harder, little buddy. Are you kidding me? And then he posts a picture of the score from a couple years ago. Cope harder. Who's coping here? Who's really coping here? The guy who's calling out the fact that you guys are under investigation and sanctions will be coming, or the one who's ignoring it and is apparently wants to hock a loogie? I don't know. Who's coping harder? You tell me. By the way, I responded with "Little buddy, I ain't your little buddy. Keep lying to yourself." Do. Here we go. How about Andrew and the Andrew and Ian show? So this is apparently a show. Two guys from Detroit that love sports with 25 followers, and they're telling me to cope. Cope? What are you talking about? Cope? You have 25 followers, bro. 25 followers. You're telling me to cope. Your team is 6-5. Okay. Oh my goodness. Tanner's giving me the cry emoji. That's funny. Let's see here. Not woke says, okay. Well, at least he agreed that he agreed, apparently. And then how about Mario Kart Bowser? Okay, here we go. Awesome. Mario Kart Bowser, also 38 followers. So he's busy playing the Nintendo Wii, apparently. This means a lot coming from such an objective observer. Did you not see the name of my podcast? What are you talking about? Objective observer. Dude, unbelievable. The stupidity. This guy posts this Justin fella. He's actually got a few more. He's got 402. But look at all the teams he's a fan of: the Chicago Cubs, the Houston Rockets, the Las Vegas Raiders, and the New York Rangers. And oh, by the way, he's a fan of Scum. Bro, pick a team, pick a region for real. Like you can't tell me that you're an international man of mystery who roots for all these different teams. You bandwagon fool. This is the type of guy who in a year or two won't have that M at all on there because he'll be embarrassed of where he's at and he just wants to make sure that he's got all his teams from everywhere. What a ridiculous. No one believes at this point that Xichigan didn't win the national title fair and square. Quote from NCAA President Charlie Baker. It's a misquote. Go back, read it, watch the whole thing again. You'll find out what he's talking about. He's not trying to say you all didn't cheat. He wasn't saying that at all. And by the way, he has nothing to do with the infractions committee in the NCAA. So do some research, bro. All right, back to the king here. He says first it was the weather, then it was the flu, then it was cheating. Y'all do anything but accept the losses like men. Well, first off, no one here complained about the weather. No one used that as an excuse. Okay, it was a few fans online that you all gravitated towards to make yourselves feel better, and you all cope. Then it was the flu. That's true. There were actually people who were sick. By the way, you all skated in 2020 because of COVID, but yet we still played, even though we actually had players missing because of the flu. But there again, feel if that makes you cope, go for it. Then it was cheating. Yeah, by the way, it was. So you can't deny that. So they weren't technically excuses, by the way. And I don't know if you've seen or not, we're still counting the L's against Ryan Day. So you cope. You run a podcast and you're still traumatized. You actually think sign stealing is the reason y'all lost 3 in a row. You're soft, just like your team. Well, Wick, how about this, buddy? Um, Wick with 343 ginormous followers. He's a diehard M fan. He's a he's an RT Life gamer. Gosh, these gamer people. Oh my goodness. Get a job. I'm soft, huh? I'm soft just like the team. All right, buddy. Whatever you say. And by the way, I'm not traumatized. I'm angry. I'm angry, and I'll get to that on why in a minute. I got just a couple more, I promise. Evan here. Evan is a young man who thinks he's very intelligent with 87 followers. Again, it's like Here's what I believe. I honestly believe this. I believe that the fan base up there didn't get on social media until 2001 when they actually won finally. And because you'll go look at all of them, they've all joined in 2001. And they all hover around their little base of followers, okay, so that they can give themselves, build themselves up, and pat themselves on the back, right? Um, and they never grow because they never get out of their own sphere, okay, which is why they honestly think in their minds that they're somehow a national brand that everybody loves. No one loves you beyond those of you who actually cheer for your stupid colors and your stupid school. All right, learn for real. Oh my goodness, Tim here. Crazy picture, Tim. I don't know what you're trying to be there with some kind of emoji face thing. I don't know. He's probably one of those who's into Japanese anime. I guarantee he is. It's a good thing you have a podcast so you can whine and whine and whine because it's all you've been good at the past 3 years. Try winning a big game this decade. Are you serious right now? Ohio State's dominated you all since 2000 until the last 3 years when you were cheating. We've won 2 national championships in that year, in that time frame. You all finally won one that might stand and might not. We don't know. We'll find out. And yet somehow we've never won a big game in this past decade. Hmm. Interesting. Okay. Do some research, Tim. You're completely wrong. You made yourself look stupid. Here's Chris. You call getting smashed on both sides of the ball cheating. You got pushed around and manhandled by a team that was more physical. OSU stands for soft as baby crap. Um, Again, dude, do you realize how easy it is to play defense if you know if the other team is passing or running? Unbelievable. Just continue to lie to themselves. Continue to believe this false narrative. Believe me, you are not one to talk, says Sammy. Okay, Sammy, with his 56 followers. Apparently, he's an Indiana fan, so I don't know if he's talking about us or if he's talking about them. But Indiana fans all of a sudden have found their voice this year until last week. This guy decided to post a funny picture. I actually find that as a funny picture. I kind of wondered if that's James's self-portrait. By the way, he's a big fan of the Colorado Avalanche and the team up north. Imagine that. And Mike Tyson as well. Interesting. And James is a very interesting person. Here's this person who decided to send me a pie with Beat Ohio hashtagged in it with Happy Thanksgiving. Thanks. Happy Thanksgiving to you as well. I would never touch that pie. JP says, "You're still crying about that?" Oh my goodness, dude. You have no idea. Until the NCAA says you guys did nothing wrong, we're going to continue to talk about it. We're going to continue to bring it up because it's what we do. So, number one, guys, as you can see, their fans are insufferable. You you go on social media and they just troll and troll and troll. Their team is 6-5. They're going nowhere. They get a recruit that they pay millions of dollars for, which by the way, they complained and called us that we were buying a championship, although they spent 16 million on their roster this year to our 20, which is only 4 million left, so yet they're crying about it. Then they go out and buy the recruit that's in their backyard, mind you, okay? They buy him, and now all of a sudden they have refound their voice, and it doesn't matter that they're 6-5 this year because they won it last year. Well, we'll see if that stands or not. Number one, I cannot stand their fans. Number two, the second reason why I cannot stand and I hate the team up north, it is in my blood. It is in my DNA. When you are raised an Ohio State fan, you are raised to hate that team, to accept that rivalry for what it is. That's why Urban was 7-0. He understood the rivalry so well. An Ohio guy, born and raised into it, right? Jim Tressel, same thing, born and raised into it, understood it so well. Woody Hayes, Earl Bruce, these guys knew what it meant to hate that opponent, all right? And that it's bred into us. So whether I like the person who happens to be a fan of them or not, and at the end of the day, I really don't like you because of the team you root for. It's in my DNA. You can't listen. A leopard can't change its spots, guys. All right. All right. I know in our day and culture today, people try to be something that they weren't born to be, but the DNA doesn't lie. All right. The chromosomes don't lie. Guess what? My DNA doesn't lie either. I cannot stand you guys. It was bred into me. I've shared stories about that. This isn't the video to do that. Just know that the second reason why I can't stand you guys and I hate your team is because it's in my DNA. Number three is the 1990s. The 1990s scarred me as a Buckeye fan. I was born in 1981, so from the time that I was 9 years old to the time I was 19 was the worst decade to be an Ohio State fan when it came to the rivalry. Nothing against John Cooper, but the guy couldn't win those games. It didn't matter how good we were and how bad they were, which is why when we go into this game, no matter what our record is and no matter what their record is, I still will always have a little bit of trepidation, even though statistically, schematically, everything points to a big win for Ohio State. I will always have that little bit of moment, not I won't say doubt, but understanding. I'll have that feeling or understanding that it doesn't matter what the record is. Throw the records out because the 1990s happened. And we lost way too many times against that team when we shouldn't have. We had a way much better roster. Much better roster. Better players. One would argue we just didn't have the coaching, but whatever. The 1990s happened. That's the third reason why I hate that team from up north is because of the 1990s. By the way, when you were growing up in Ohio in the 1990s, and I don't know if this is still a thing today, I'm assuming it is, there's always one or two weirdos in school who rooted for that team. Usually they were unbathed. They were either druggies or they might have been the part of the druggy guys, right? Or they were just dirty human beings. And they would come to school with their M jackets, right? And you're like, oh my gosh, these people. Or their fathers were. And their fathers were one of those two people. And then so they just picked up the fandom from their father. Those were the Michigan fans you grew up with, man. That's who you grew up with in Ohio. And you thought you couldn't stand these people. And they were loud and they were arrogant. And you just wanted to punch them in the face. Ain't no different today. Those people have all grown up to be just like their fathers. They're all losers. Trust me. I've seen it, every single one of them. They're all losers. That's who they are. Number four. So to reiterate, number one's their fans. Number two, it's in my DNA. Number three, the 1990s happened. Number four, and this is what I wanted to get back to. They cheated, and they know it. The fact that every single one of those people wanted to point out, hey, man, you're still talking about this? Yeah, they don't want you to. They don't want you to bring it up. They don't want you to talk about it. And the reason why is because they know they did it. They know they cheated. And those who try to say everybody was doing it, everybody was cheating. No, they weren't. People didn't have a purchasing of tickets, going and filming the opponent from the 50-yard line. No one else was doing that. You didn't have a coach who went and stood on the sidelines of another opponent with shades and a hat on, disguising himself, recording the other opponent's signs. No one else was doing that. It's against the rules. It's cheating. It is what it is. Whether you want to accept it or deny it or not, it is what it is. Everybody was doing it. No, they weren't. You were. You were the cheaters. And from the people who, like I said, are arrogant and who say, we're the leaders and the best, to do something like that shows how desperate you were because you were getting your butt handed to you for 2 decades. And there he is, Jim Harbaugh, the hypocrite himself, who stands behind a podium today and says he's always taught his players to never lie, cheat, or steal, and yet he's guilty of doing those 3 things. It's hypocritical. And you're being a hypocrite if you sit there and say, everybody does it. No, they don't. No, they don't. You're just lying to yourself. You're lying to yourself, and you are holding up Jim Harbaugh in some kind of idol status, who is a hypocrite, man. Very cult-like, guys. Incredibly cultish, man. It's just weird. Very strange. Listen, I need this win tomorrow. I need it in the worst way. For the last 3 years, I've had to put up with these conniving, trolling, loud, brash, arrogant pricks for 3 years. And I'm done with it, man. And hopefully the coaching staff at Ohio State, the players at Ohio State, they're done with it too. Let's smash these guys. Let's just rip their soul, man, from the entire fan base. Hold it out in front of them. Throw it on the ground, spit on it, rub it into the ground. At this point, man, if we could win by 4, 5, 6 touchdowns, lay it on them. Pour it on them, dude. I need this win. I need this win like I need oxygen. I can't tell you how bad I need to see Ohio State and Ryan Day hammer these cheaters, the scum of the earth. That's who you are. Face it. This is why it's the greatest rivalry in all of sports, because you don't even exist without Ohio State. Your best players are from Ohio, and the only reason why you're even relevant at this point is because we, the Ohio State fan base, make it relevant by making you the number one on our list of who we want to be in the rivalry. Face it. That's who you are. We're coming for you tomorrow. It's going to be a bloodbath. I love it. I can't wait for it. I need it. Buckeye Nation, hit the thumbs up, man. Like it. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Lisa, I hope this was enough yelling for you. I got to save some of my voice for tomorrow. I plan on yelling the entire game. I need this win more in the worst possible way. Michigan, I hate you guys. Go Bucks. Beat the Blue.